We've done it, everybody. We have made the perfect Pokemon TCG set. Well, we've each made one, and we're going to tear each other's apart. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gym Leaders Podcast, where we talk all things Pokemon TCG. I'm Travis with TCG Funhouse.
And I'm AS with ASX TCG, ready to take down the Pokemon set that you think is going to win today here, Travis.
And mute, and that's how we take care of that conversation right there. But yes, that's exactly what we're doing today, guys. We have each built the perfect, in our image, Pokemon TCG set, and then we're going to each explain it to each other, and then the other person is going to chop it down like a tree. But I know that's not what ASX is going to do to mine, because my set is indeed perfect. So he's going to be able to do nothing but nod and smile and agree and be like, wow, this is fantastic. Isn't that right, ASX?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think we're going to have some pretty surprising differences here today. I really think we are.
Yeah, so I'll definitely say that there's not going to be an Arcanine in my set, because he is the worst Pokemon in the history of... Hey, he's leaving. This is solo dolo on the podcast. This is a one-man podcast now.
I almost just walked out.
I'll be looking for a new host. If anybody is interested, go ahead and drop me a DM. But yeah, so it's going to be really fun, guys. And don't forget, at the end of the episode, well, not the end of this, but towards the second part of this episode, we are doing the Q&A with you guys here. We got a couple of questions from people over on YouTube, Instagram, DMs, Patreon, all that kind of stuff, guys. If you want to be a part of future Q&As here at the Gym Leaders Podcast, please leave some questions down in the comment section or reach out to us on any of our social media platforms, and we will add it to the list. Now, we won't be able to select all of the questions, obviously, but we're going to do our best to get to really as many as we can if we don't, ramble and talk too much. ASX, do you like the new Q&A section?
I do. I really do. I like, I feel like it, helps kind of connect, us to you guys, you to us. You get to, ask us questions directly. And, I love answering the questions and all the comments that you guys have. So I really like being able to talk about them, a little bit more in depth here, on the podcast.
Absolutely. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. We were actually talking about live streaming a Q&A, but we decided to just add it as, a section of the podcast every single week, because we just have so much other crap going on all the time, and we really wanted to incorporate it with you guys. And I know some of you guys were waiting for the Q&A section specifically, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be towards the later half of this. But before we dive into our perfect TCG sets, over on my YouTube channel, I have a Brilliant Stars ETB giveaway. So if you want your guys' information on how you can enter for a chance to win this bad boy, this is actually the ETB that I was supposed to give away for the Snorlax Fit Challenge that all of us kind of dropped the ball on. But I'm still giving one away to you guys. So it is now my March giveaway, because when I say I'm going to give something away, I do indeed give it away, even if, the activity it was originally attached to did not really go as planned. But I'm going to make sure that one lucky subscriber gets this in their hands. So if you want your other details, make sure you guys go watch some of the other videos and get your entry details as well. And I think you're giving one away too, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I am going to give one away at the end of the month, beginning of April. My birthday is right in the beginning of April, and I want to go live for the very first time and give it away during my live stream. So if you guys have not already, definitely go sub on my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I go live and have a chance at that ETB.
Absolutely, guys. Go check out his channel for sure. We need to get ASX to 1,000 subscribers, and I know that we can do that. I know that we can do that by the end of the year for sure, if not within the next, 3 to 4 months or so. Show him some love, guys. He really needs that push, that angst to put out more videos. Let's get ASX to 1,000 subs. It's gonna be a new, a new push here on the podcast. Get him to 1,000 subs over on YouTube. I know you guys can do it. ASX TCG, link in description below. But enough of that nonsense, man. Enough of that nonsense. It is time to talk about our perfect, absolutely perfect Pokemon TCG sets. And you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, ASX, because I'm a really, really just genuinely nice guy, I'm gonna let you go first here, okay?
Oh,
mainly
wow.
because I want to tear that freaking set down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm open to your thoughts, but tell me what you got. What is your perfect Pokemon TCG set?
Yeah. So, I was, really thinking about this. There's a lot of different things, I really wanted to do with this set. But when it came down to it, what I really love most and what gets me, really excited, sometimes even more than like
terrible idea. Terrible. I'm not signing up for this.
Just hear me out.
Sorry.
Hear me out.
Sorry. Preemptive. That's preemptive.
So yeah, the thing that really gets me excited and gets my heart racing is actually playing the TCG, actually playing the game.
Who does that?
The PTCGO. A lot of people, and I'm hoping a lot more people with this awesome set that I'm about to tell you about. So, my set is going to be all around, viability and building decks and, really getting back into playing the TCG, because that's what it all started as, right? It is a trading card game. You trade and, you collect them and stuff like that. But, it's really, all built around a game, and I want to get people back into that. So that's kind of like my main theme of the set that I'm creating. And another reason behind this is we have so many sets now with just so many cards, and then that just really aren't viable. And a lot of times those are the cards that you get thrown right in the bulk pile. You don't even look at them. I find myself even sometimes really not even looking at the artworks or anything on those. So that's another big reason why. And with that, taking some of those cards out, I do want to cut down on the set size. I want it to only be around 180 cards maximum. And also, I think that would not include reverse hollows. I want to take those out. I don't think they're necessary. They're more on a collector's side of things, which I'm really not trying to do for this set.
I think getting rid of those reverse hollows is going to be something that we agree on for sure.
Oh, good. So we can.
That's one thing.
At least one point here tonight. So yeah, I do want to get rid of those. Yeah, they do bling out your deck a little bit, but in the end, it's more frustrating. I feel like the reverse hollows are.
So I do want to ask you this, as somebody who's a deck builder, like the Drizzle card is extraordinarily potent right now inside of a lot of decks. Do you think people really care to add the reverse hollow as opposed to the regular card to their deck?
I mean, not really. When it comes down to it, the cards do the exact same thing, whether it's the regular one or the reverse hollow. So when it comes down to it in the end, I really don't think so. It's just, it's kind of, if you had, however many you wanted in your set, you had those of reverses.
Yeah.
You could add them in there just to, spice it up a little bit. But in the end, it's really not a huge value add to the decks. I feel
I see why people would want to add rainbows and alt arts and stuff, but I really don't see the appeal of just adding a reverse hollow as opposed to a regular uncommon or whatever. But anyway, I digress.
Just slightly more shiny, I guess. So excuse me. So for this set, I thought it would be kind of interesting to also bring back dual typing. Which I think they had some dual typing back in the XY era, maybe before that as well.
Steam
but
Siege.
I'm pretty sure it was in the XY era. Yeah, so I think that was kind of cool. Now, they don't have to be shiny Pokemon like they were in those sets, but I just think the dual typing would kind of switch up the gameplay a little bit, and help make some decks more viable when they may have not been before. By being able to, counter with one of their typings that they didn't have before. And many Pokemon have dual typings. So I think that would just, make more sense. In terms of the, also on the commons and uncommons, I'm thinking about for this set around 75 of the commons and uncommons. And
so is your set 180 including secret rares?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a smaller set. Yeah, much smaller set, because we're used to over 200 cards now, and that's
yeah. Well, you said 75 commons and commons. I'm like, he's got 180. That means he's got 105 rares and ultra rares. I'm like, holy crap! But no, if you're including secret rares and stuff in that as well, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I am. So, Yeah, so on those, commons and uncommons, those 75 that I'm talking about, I think those would be super cool to have some dual typing on, just to give those some more viability, because you don't really see a lot of one prize decks anymore. Um, and when they do come out, some good, some one prize decks are really, really fun to play, especially when you're taking down some of those, 2 and 3 prize decks with your one prizers. It's a really good feeling. So I think that would be cool. Looking at approximately like 30 hollows in the set, but this is where I want to change this, because 30 hollows is kind of a lot. So I'm thinking of something like, I just called it like a super hollow because I couldn't think of anything else, but I'm thinking kind of like an extended art hollow. So instead
Okay.
of like the reverse and the regular hollow, having an extended art hollow, like
Are you talking about like
my
that?
good friend Pikachu.
Okay. Let's, kind of like a pseudo full art sort of a thing. I was thinking that you were
Yeah.
thinking like the Professor Oak from Celebrations, where he's got his arm reached down and he's right on the thing.
Yeah.
Those would be cool too. I
That's a super cool card.
consider that like an extended art. Like the Pokemon kind of just
Yeah.
breaks through the border, the picture border a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
so
it.
that's what I'm thinking. Is kind of like in place to add some more where you took out a lot of those reverse cards. And then on top of those, I'm thinking, about 30 like V and V Max, or what would be, V and V Max like in the next generation in that.
Right.
But those, instead of having like a regular V and a full art V and sometimes an alternate art V, instead of having the regular V, just having like a full art, where it's textured and it's really nice and it feels awesome to pull. Because I'll admit, even now, some of the, you pull a V card and you're kind of like, ooh, it kind of feels like just pulling a hollow sometimes, especially the lower
Especially
end.
with the price on them now, they've really fallen in value.
Yeah.
Like most of the standard V cards nowadays are literally, you can buy them for like under $1 over on TCG Player. Like you're looking at like 70 something cents for this Zarude V right here. If you guys are listening on the audio platforms, I am holding up a Zarude V, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, so I think, just making those full arts with the texture, I think that would be super cool. And also add, to a little bit of like the collectability, exactly like that Darmanitan you're holding up. And then this is where I get into the more collectability side of this.
Oh, now you're getting into collectability. Oh, I thought you said earlier you don't care about the collectability. Oh, here we go.
All right. But remember, these are still very viable cards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm thinking, I love alt arts, so I definitely want to continue, having the alt arts in here. And those would be the alt arts of like the Vs and V Maxes. And then I was thinking, I really love when there's a subset, in sets.
Like Trainer Gallery?
Feels like, yes, like Trainer Gallery, but I'm thinking, I don't want to just hit the Trainer Gallery hard and to where it becomes something that people aren't interested in anymore. So I wanted to get away from that. And somebody, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was that made this comment on one of our podcasts here, but they were like, hear me out. How about like alpha type Pokemon? Mm-hmm. And that got me thinking, well, I think there's alpha type Pokemon in Legends Arceus.
Yes.
If I'm correct. So I think that would be super cool.
Yep.
To kind
that's where they would have got it from. Alpha Pokemon is like, how like every game has kind of like their little thing, like Sword and Shield had Gigantamax and Sun and Moon had Z moves and stuff like that. Like Legends Arceus, Alpha Pokemon is like the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that would be kind of cool, to bring something in it, bring something new into the TCG, maybe make that, the 3 prize and, V, regular V just a 1 prize and a VMAX 2 prize, to kind of switch it up like that a little bit,
mm-hmm.
And only be able to put 1 of those cards in your deck versus 4, that you could put at pretty much any other card. So I think those would be, some really cool, types of ideas for a set. And, when it comes to the types of Pokemon that I would want in the set, because that's super important.
Absolutely. It's the selling point for a lot of sets.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So
for collectors.
If you guys have listened to this podcast at all or ever come and watched any videos on my channel, you already know
Ninetales.
Like the main mascot of my set is going to be Ninetales. Exactly. Absolutely not. No, it is going to be Arcanine. I have been waiting for an amazing Arcanine to come out here in the Sword and Shield era, and I have been snubbed left and right. So Arcanine would definitely be one of the main mascots in my set. I'm going to slap a Charizard on it as well. I mean,
you have to.
That's just going to make it sell. So Charizard's definitely going to go into
You know,
it.
as somebody who's making a game strictly for competitive players, I'm kind of disappointed that you have a Charizard in your set. You know, talk about a money grab. Talk about a money grab from ASX TCG over here. He's trying to be on the good side of the fence where he's like, yeah, I'm for the players. I'm making every card's going to be playable. And then he has to slap a Charizard on it just to get the money grab action too. Greedy ASX.
There's so many Charizard cards out there that just aren't really that viable. So this is going to be the most viable Charizard, and you're finally going to be able to build that super Charizard deck.
But you're just going to make it a regular rare, right? Just a regular rare, you know.
Regular non-hollow.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, because that's what he deserves.
Yeah,
so.
as long as it's competitive.
Give him the vivid voltage treatment.
That's right.
Nice competitive Charizard, not even a hollow. No, he would definitely at least get in hollow, but you know, also the alt art and probably an alpha card as well.
Here we go. Here we go.
Those would be, you know, my 2 fire type, and I think I would go, you know, like a fire and a psychic type set because those are my 2 favorite typings. And for the other 2, it's tough because I want to go Mew and Mewtwo, but that's already been done.
Yeah.
You know, so I
true.
think I would go. You know, I think I would probably go like, man.
Look at you.
I do want to keep Mewtwo. I want to keep Mewtwo, and then I would say
Gen 1 fanboy.
I am a huge Gen 1 fan.
Gen 1er
already, like massive Gen 1 fan. Man, I don't know who else I would go with for a psychic type.
Alakazam, come on, you know you want Alakazam in there.
Yeah, I would go Alakazam. I was super excited when that card came out in Vivid Voltage. So yeah,
Alakazam needs more love. He got the collection box around Vivid Voltage era where he got the V and the full art, but he's kind of been snubbed otherwise. Like, you know, he hasn't gotten an alternate art. He hasn't gotten a rainbow in the Sword and Shield era. And any of that stuff. I thought he would get some more love during Battle Styles because, like, he was basically introduced in Sword and Shield during that expansion, and he was probably one of the more exciting Pokemon that was brought back into the game during the Isle of Armor expansion, where you can find him as a rare spawn in like a really like hard to get location. So I thought we were gonna get some love for him in Battle Styles. Like, dude, an alternate art Alakazam would be phenomenal. That would be so cool.
Dude, absolutely, they could do so many great artwork.
Is this gonna be the first return of Kadabra after not being in the TCG for 20 years?
Yeah, it could be because you know we could do like the full line there.
Yeah.
And then you know have that extended artwork for the Alakazam at the end.
Well, now that Geller has basically allowed Pokemon to print Kadabra on their TCG cards again, this would be a good way to bring him back and print his first card since 2000 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. So, those would be my mascots, and then. You know, we've talked about it before, and this is definitely something that we've agreed on. It might be something that you might bring up as well, but you know, I would really love to keep the legendaries and the mythicals as the bigger pulls in the set. In my set here, I don't want to see a legendary or a mythical Pokemon pop up as, you know, a non-hollow, or my gosh, if they ever popped up as a common or uncommon in my set, like that's not going to be an okay thing.
Yep.
So like these would definitely be the Vs, the V Maxes, you know, or whatever those are going to be in the secret rares and the alternate arts. And yeah, I would love to see, you know, a couple, you know, different types, you know, not all of the legendaries and mythicals, because that would just be crazy, but you know, some different ones in there. And then, you know, in terms of products, I really do enjoy the products that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I feel like always falls short, and this goes really well with the viability and everything, are the like the V battle decks, the theme decks, all those like kind of pre-built decks.
They're never really viable.
No, it's a good start, right? Like if you want to build the
it used to be called starter decks.
Right, exactly. So, you know, kind of getting back to, you know, the roots, I guess, where we call it a starter deck. You're really trying to build a deck from it. You know, making those more viable. You know, I mean, we've had in the past when we were doing we were actually being able to do these tournaments in person and everything.
Yeah.
You know, we were seeing a lot of decks. I remember seeing a lot of them in like the Sun and Moon era, probably in the X and Y era as well. But they were decks that were, you know, pre-constructed, that were used actually in the tournaments and won these tournaments, like first and second place and
That's
stuff
crazy.
like that. And I would love to see those types of products again, just because I want to bring people back into actually playing the game.
Yeah,
that's like one of the biggest things for me.
It would be a good way to bring kids back into it too. Like giving them actual decks that are cool and playable and stuff like that, like an actual viable to where you can take down some of the most powerful decks in the world with the starter deck if you played it properly. Which, sorry, but it ain't happening with the Lycanroc deck that we got, or the Corviknight deck. It ain't winning any tournaments, man.
Right.
That makes sense.
And I feel like they're starting to walk down that road with like the League Battle decks again. They're like starting to walk down the road again, making them more viable, because those aren't terrible decks. You can definitely win matches. I did a video on the Inteleon deck, won a couple matches that way, with just the base deck. So they are getting there, but I would love just to see like them putting out viable decks where you can go out to the store, buy it. You're not spending, over $100 just to
build a deck,
buy this deck, build a deck. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, it's playable out of the box. You don't have to add anything else to it. You can, if you want to, of course, but you don't need to. Right.
Yeah.
So I would love to see those types of products, anything that can bring people back in. And we're also seeing it with like the Trainer Academy.
Yep. The board game. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm surprised you wouldn't make a new one, make a new Trainer Academy for your set specifically, and like really soup it up, dude. Like really soup it up. Make it sparkle. Put some really cool stuff in there instead of just like a flat board game too, man. Like make it like 3D diorama. Like make people cool. That'd be cool.
Make it feel like a Pokemon stadium, right?
Yes.
Like battling in the stadium or something. That would be awesome. Yeah. So yeah, like that's the big thing around my set, guys. Is just I want to see something that's super viable. All the cards have a chance at actually being in a winnable deck, and things like that. And I feel like if we get that viability back, you're going to see a lot more people back into the game, and that's the name of the game in my set.
All right. So now that ASX has gave us his playing it safe deck, where he's not making many changes, where he's feeding the community, what they want to hear, I'm about to give you guys one of the biggest. Like, y'all are going to be like, this is the craziest shit I ever heard deck or set. But I'm telling you, it's going to work. It would probably piss off a lot of collectors because we know it's going to bring those scalpers right back out of the woodworks again, and it is going to make news. This is going to be a newsworthy set, okay, that I'm going to give you now that we're done with ASX's.
You were just getting at me.
We need everybody playable.
Slapping a Charizard.
Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
All the scalpers
That's
back.
right, baby.
All the scalpers are coming.
I'm starting the hype train with my set. But first, let me react to your set. I do like the idea. I do like the idea of making the set very playable. That's nice. I enjoy it. There's not going to be a single playable card in my set because I don't give a shit. Just saying that right now. But it was really nice of you to think about the players. It was really nice of you.
Yeah. You guys are all welcome. All you.
But yeah, no, I like it. Of course, you had to go with your boy Arcanine. It's not going to turn any heads. Nobody's going to be buying the set strictly because of Arcanine. So
Turns my head.
That's right. One guy in the room. Slapping a Charizard. I was disappointed that you slapped a Charizard on it. I really was. It makes total sense. But it goes against the rest of the ideology based around your set. You said, I am here for the hardcore Pokemon fans, and I am gonna put a Charizard in it. You sneaky little, you just, ugh.
I mean, you gotta sell it still, right?
That's
gotta come
that's
off the
true.
shelves. I mean,
That's true.
Battle styles over here. Or anything.
I was expecting you to be that person that put all of the unfavorited Pokemon in a set because you would go down the path of, hey, there's somebody. This is somebody's favorite Pokemon. Like you hear that all the time, right? It's like, oh, Klefki is so lame. Oh, Klefki is somebody's favorite Pokemon. All right, well, you make an entire set of Klefkis and Garbodors and all that crap that nobody else actually wants.
I couldn't argue that. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys have some Pokemon out there. I mean, I feel it myself. You guys know, but I couldn't quite get to that level.
So I'm gonna make the most marketable set in the history of the Pokemon TCG, And I don't even know. It's going to be so banging. It might as well be a subset. You know, I'm sure you made a standard set. You know, you made a standard set.
Subset.
We're talking subset now, baby. We're talking collector set. This is going to be strictly a collector set, and it's not going to be one of those wimpy sets like the Pokemon Go set that's coming down the pipeline. You know, Detective Pikachu, Champion's Path, that was terrible, except it had two Charizards inside. Do you know why? Because I'm going to have more Charizards than that in my set. That's why. So, when I was making my set, I actually wrote down every single Pokemon that was going in my set. I'm not gonna regurgitate every single one of them. Don't worry. But it ended up being 148 cards was my set before Secret Rares. And after Secret Rares and such, it came out to about 165. So a little bit smaller than your set, because I do agree with you. I think our sets are way too large. And it's really important that completing a set is very, very important. The second thing that I'm going to steal from you is I'm also removing the reverse hollows from my set altogether. We've talked about it in the past. They have reached their point of staying. They are now that friend that will not leave your house when you want to just go to bed. And they're like, bro, one more episode of Game of Thrones. Bro, one more match of FIFA. And it's like, nah, bro, like, I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. Go home. You know, that's what the reverse hollows are, and it's time to move on past them. Other than that, that's pretty much where the similarities are going to stop. I'm going to focus on fan favorites, and it's very similar to what I talk about when I talk Pokemon investing. I'm going to make an entire set based around fan favorite Pokemon and my favorite Pokemon, because it's my set and I don't care what the rest of you say. So of course, my set is going to be anchored very, very heavily in Generation 1 for a couple reasons. One, it is by far the most popular generation. Just look at evolutions. You know what I'm saying? It's by far the most popular generation, and it's also the most nostalgic generation, and people who like Gen 1 Pokemon have money, right? They're in their 30s, they're in their late 20s. Those are the people that I'm targeting, because I want to sell every single pack of Pokemon cards that I print, right? So I'm focusing, my key demographic is the millennial who grew up on Pokemon, right? So it's a very heavy Gen 1 set. It's not only Gen 1. There are other generations in place, but what I mean by focusing on Gen 1 is, of course, it's going to be anchored by Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Are going to be the three anchors. They're going to be 3 of the pack arts, and they're going to be the only 3 pack arts. That's right. I'm only going 3 pack arts. Normally there's 4, sometimes there's 5, right?
Switching it up.
I know. I'm going 3 pack arts with Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. And yes, you know, there's going to be Charmander, Squirtle, right? All their pre-evolutions. Get regular commons, uncommons. That is still going to be a thing. I thought about changing away from the yellow border, but I decided to keep it purely for nostalgic reasons. I don't like the yellow border, but I do understand. Excuse me, I belched. Did you hear that?
I did. It was a deep one.
It's a little bit of protein shake. It just kind of came up. Because I've been to the gym for the first time in like 6 months, okay?
Ooh, dang.
No, it hasn't been that long, but shh. Anyway. So, I know why they keep the yellow border. Again, because it's a set based on nostalgia, keeping the yellow border is actually quite important. So yeah, and I'm going to change the holo pattern. And not only am I going to change the holo pattern, but every single rare is holographic. And there's going to be 1 holographic in every single pack. So I'm removing the reverse holos, and I'm putting a holographic in every single pack, and every rare card is holographic. If you think that's crazy, that is what they do in the Japanese TCG. Every rare in the Japanese TCG is holographic, and I would migrate that concept over to the US and to the English sets. But I would put a holo in every single pack, which you are not guaranteed in Japan. You can actually get packs that only have uncommons and commons in them, but there's only 5 cards per pack. I'm not going to deter that much from it. I'm still sticking with the 10, 11 cards per pack. But I'm changing the holo pattern as well to more of the base set and evolutions holo style. which is kind of like just like the solid color, like the pink holo from like the Clefairy cards, and like the red and orange holo from the Charizard. Like, I'm going back to that route. I really, really like the holo patterns that we got in Evolutions, and I'm bringing that back for every single holographic card. And pretty much every, third piece of evolution in powerful Pokemon would be a holographic, right? Outside of the ultra rares, so, obviously my boy Chandelure's got to get at least a holo. I couldn't bring myself to give him like an ultra rare or to make him an anchor, because as much as I love Chandelure, he doesn't have the fanfare that, the Kanto starters do and all that stuff. But he would get a holo. Other Pokemon to anchor it would be, like Tyranitar would get a holo, Gengar would get a holo, Alakazam, and I would bring some of the newer Pokemon in. I would bring like Toxtricity, some of the more popular Galar Pokemon, some of the more popular Alola Pokemon would also get holographic cards as well. But not much more than that, because I'm sticking most of my ultra rares to the super fan favorites. Now, I don't know what I would do for the standard ultra rare, like the standard V card, but I would have ultra rares, and then I would have basically a hyper rare that would be like the V Max, right? I would change them. I wouldn't keep them as V Maxes. I don't know what I would do in particular. Maybe, like you said, something in terms of like a textured full art style type of a thing. I would change the full arts up, but I would make the hyper rare where the texture comes in. The ultra rare would still be your shiny gloss, and then the hyper rare would be like textured and maybe like an extended art, as you were saying. I do like that idea for the hyper rare style card. And getting ultra rare, every ultra rare would also get a hyper rare. Nobody would just get ultra rare, it would be both, and that would be Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard, Mew, Mewtwo, Darkrai, Arceus, Dragonite, the real fan favorites that people enjoy and stuff like that. I would leave out, unfortunately, most of the evolutions, but I would include Umbreon and Espeon in my set, just those two. Because I don't want to flood it with evolutions, right? Like they did with Evolving Skies. It was cool, but yeah. I do think Umbreon and Espeon are probably the two most popular evolutions. So I would put them into my set along with Pikachu and Eevee would just get standard common cards, right? But Raichu would be holo. Like, along those lines, you can kind of start building the set out that way. Other fan favorites getting ultra rares and hyper rares would be the likes of Lucario, Rayquaza, just like those real big hitters that can really anchor sets. They're all going to be in this set, all of them. And then moving on from there, full art trainers, right? So I would have regular trainers inside. I don't care. I'm not much of a player. So yes, I would still put trainers in just for nostalgia purposes. Every set printed has basically had trainers in them, and I would continue that trend. Yeah. And it would just be, Pokeballs, whatever, right? Whatever the trainer cards at the time were. But I would make full art trainers. But every single full art trainer in my set is going to be an evil team. So all 8 evil teams will get a full art, full color trainer. I'm getting rid of rainbows. I'm getting rid of gold cards as well. So I'm getting rid of both of those options because it's just too convoluted for me. There's too much. Yeah. There's too many options. There's too many different types of things. You're giving me a V Max, an alternate art, a rainbow, and a gold card all in one set. Maybe there's a V alternate art and a V Max alternate art. So now we're looking at 7 or 8 different types of every single Pokemon. It's too much. I'm simplifying my set. I'm bringing it down a notch, and I'm not even giving Pokemon full arts either. Only the trainers, only full art color trainers, and it's going to be just the 8 evil teams, Team Rocket, Team Galactic, so on and so forth. Because I think those are fan favorites. They're knowable, they're recognizable, you can hold on to them, and like some of my favorite full art cards are those, like the Jesse James from Hidden Fates. I love that card so much. Something along those lines. That's what I would do. And yeah, I would not print any full art Pokemon. None. I would just have the ultra rare and the hyper rare. But Now, all those cards would be in the set. All those cards are in the standard 148 card set, and the secret rares are going to be massive. Every secret rare is going to be, I think I chose like 8 different ones, and it's only the really, really big bangers. And I'm going with my blackout cards. So I would go the blackout cards to where everything in the card is basically black except for the picture of the Pokemon and the text. Everything else is going to be black. The borders are black. The background is black. Just straight black gloss. And then the Pokemon would be full art colored texture. And the words would be texturized and everything. Everything else would just be printed on the full glossy black background. And that would include the likes of Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, Mew, Mewtwo, Arceus, Rayquaza, Darkrai, and Lucario are the 9 cards that are getting blackouts. There are Pokemon that are getting ultra rares and hyper rares that aren't getting blackout cards. I'm sticking with just the fan favorites. Greninja is also getting ultra rare, hyper rare, and a blackout card. So that's 10. So 10 Pokemon are getting blackouts. That's 10 secret rares. But I'm also moving past that now, and I'm giving Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard die-cut cards. 100% collector die-cut cards. No, they're not playable in the TCG because you can't see them on the back and all that stuff, but I don't give a crap. They are beautiful artwork die-cut cards. But only 3 of them. Only the 3 Kanto starters. And I'm moving one step farther, ASX. Pikachu and Eevee are getting serial numbered cards to 10,000. So they're getting serial numbered cards to 10,000. You know what? Let's make that 1,000. Let's make them even more rare. 1,000.
Super rare.
And this is where the gold is going to come in. But it's only going to be a gold border and a gold letters. And that's it. So all the text and the border are going to be gold. And then the rest of it is just going to be like a full art, beautiful card. And the Pokemon is going to be textured on it. Well, the background is just this beautiful scenery, whatever it is. Okay? I'm going one step further, ASX. I'm creating a Charizard numbered to 100. I'm making a Charizard card that is numbered to 100, and it's going to look just like the gold cards, but it's going to be platinum. Platinum borders, platinum words, platinum lettering, full art texture, and then a cool, like, fiery background, numbered to 100. And that is going to be...
all these are pullable in your
They're
set.
all pullable in the set. You can find them in any pack whatsoever. Doesn't matter where you get the pack from at all. And I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be fire. Now, I know I said it was a subset, but I'm going to create things like booster boxes, ETBs. I like the lineup of products that they already create, just like you. Single pack blisters, 3-pack blisters, all of that stuff. But there's a couple things that I am going to add. I don't care about theme decks. Theme decks can go away. I'm not going to print any theme decks for this set. But I'm going to make an ultra premium collection MSRP at $100. $99.99. I think every single set for Pokemon should come with an ultra premium collection. People really enjoy them. They really freak out about them. I think 120 was a little too much for the Celebrations one. They should sit right around $99.99. I think that's a perfect price for the ultra premium collection. And inside the ultra premium collection would be basically like the 3 Kanto starters as alternate art promos. So they would just be promos. They would just be alternate arts, full texture alternate arts. Nothing special about them otherwise whatsoever, other than their different artworks on what would have been like the hyper rare. Very similar to the hyper rare cards, just different artworks. And I'm also creating exclusive collection boxes. One thing that drives me crazy is when they release collection boxes and only have 2 packs of the new set and then 2 packs of old sets that you don't want anymore. Don't force me to buy Rebel Clash and Darkness Ablaze when I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So I'm creating 3 promo boxes. I'll make them figure collections because I like the little statues and figures that come inside of Rayquaza, Darkrai, and Arceus are getting their all promo boxes with 4 packs of my set inside, not just 2, with 2 other random ass packs. And so 3 promo boxes that all release at the same time. I'll get rid of the 3-pack blisters, actually, because I won't need those now that I'm releasing the 4-pack promo boxes. Get rid of the 3-pack blisters. All the additional type stuff we really don't need. I would stop printing build and battle kits. I would only create the stadiums. And inside the stadiums would just be, and they would specifically be for 2 people to have a pre-release tournament at home for themselves. That's it. Other than that, that's pretty much all that I have. It's a pure on collector set. I really don't care how much these cards are playable. I really don't. I like your thoughts of making the commons and uncommons and maybe the trainer cards all viable, so every card is worth a little bit more than just the 5 cents, throw it in the box, get rid of it type of a deal. But then one last thing I would do is and you're going to back this up on me real hard, I would make them god dang quality control be better.
Oh,
I would.
You can 100%.
I would, dude. Off-centering, misprints, hollow bleeding. I would get rid of all of it. I'd be very, very strict at the factories about my set. I do not want any of that nonsense and that malarkey in my set at all. So I knew you'd get me some. I knew you'd back me up on that one. I knew you would.
I'll back you up on that point. All
right, come on, man. Hit me with what you got. I know you're going to disagree with a lot of this stuff because it's different ideologies, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think you do have some really awesome ideas, honestly. Some ideas that you've definitely brought up in the past that I've said at that point, I think is a great idea as well. However,
don't you however me?
It sounds like a lot is going into the set in terms of highly collectible items, which I understand is what you're trying to do with the set. But I feel like that could cause some issues that we've seen with stock. You said it right in the beginning. You're going to cause the
firestorm
to come flooding back, and I mean you were absolutely right. I think that is going to be the case. I think we're going to see the flood of a lot of sports collectors and stuff come back in, especially when you get those serial numbered cards in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea, but I don't know if putting that in a set is such an awesome idea, because then it's just going to be scalping galore just to find those 1 through 100 or 1 through 1,000 cards that you could get. And I think if you did make something separate where it was a collector's piece that you bought and it had those cards in it, or it had whatever collector's piece you're buying, but it was separate of that, and you could have that as serial numbered, kind of like when the Master Ball Pokemon ball came out, when they did that die cast of it, and the people had 1 through 1,000.
It was numbered,
something like that. Yeah, I think something like that would be really awesome and wouldn't take away from the value, because you still know that there's really there's only 1,000 of these out there. There's only 100 of these out there.
See, but what you're taking away by making a change, you're taking away that god dang, bro, 14 years old, opening my set, and there's a freaking numbered to 100 Charizard inside, and you're telling me that person would not be a Pokemon fan for life after that.
Could be, but also think back when we were that age, way back when. I mean, maybe that might be a little...
Wasn't that long ago. You knocked that off.
Treat. When I would
young at heart
open these base set packs, that back then it wasn't thousands of dollars.
Wasn't a big deal.
I definitely didn't treat my cards no matter if it was a hollow. I never pulled the Charizard, thank God. But no matter if it was a hollow, I mean, that thing could slid right in my right in my pocket.
Yep.
So I agree with you. It's a good point, but I can't put myself to say put it in a pack. I think that's a great idea, because I hate the scalping side.
So, but do you know what the concept is, right? You know what the concept is? What is one of the most popular things that's going on right now? The Mr. Beast candy bar thing, right? Knowing that you are not going to get a damn ticket in those chocolate bars, okay? Knock it off. Stop buying case on case of these chocolate bars. You ain't going to get it, bro. You ain't going to get it. Go back to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and, dude, tell me it didn't generate national numbering Charizards to 100. Imagine, like, people tracking it. People would create tracking systems, and they'd be like, 95 of these Charizards have been pulled. There's only 5 left in the world. And people would be running around finding packs. They'd be going to Timbuktu to find packs.
But then again, too, like, how much are your packs going to cost? I mean, if you're
$1,000 each. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. So little Timmy over here is not going to the Walmart. You know,
little Timmy.
Packs, but,
all right, Alpha Investments, calm down.
So, you know, I think that is the biggest thing when it comes to your set. The biggest gripe I have is, you know, it's become too much of a hot collector item to be a set for me personally. So that would be my big thing.
How would you feel if you pulled one?
I mean, well, why do you gotta ask that? Like, what am I gonna be like? It happened. No, I'm gonna be
a lot. You'd feel a lot better than pulling that 35-cent playable Growlithe card.
Oh, come on now, man. Come on now. But you could be winning tournaments with that Growlithe card. You never know. You never know. You could be winning thousands of dollars in these.
That OP one-hit KO Arcanine.
That's what it's gonna be. You know it.
Exodia Arcanine card.
It's gonna be like a 1 energy attack for like 400 damage. Like, just unstoppable. Completely.
Quick attack. Always goes first. Never misses. Always does 400 damage.
No weakness. Nothing. Exactly. Yeah. Arcanine's gonna be the god Pokemon of my set for sure. But yeah, I would say that, you know, that's probably the biggest thing. That I would say. I mean, I hate that you are taking away theme decks and taking away
your face.
People coming into the set, or coming into the to actually playing the game. But I do understand it for your set. I mean, that's not a big collectible
I didn't
item.
think about that before.
Like, things there.
I only decided to do that because once you came out with a very playable set, I decided to remove theme decks just to piss you off.
Oh, I see. Well, since you know, you said that, you probably might as well just add them in there, and, you know, probably make like an awesome Arcanine.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I would make 2 different Charizard theme decks numbered to 1,000.
There you go. Okay, all right. So then theme decks are right back up there again, and yeah, we'll never see those on the shelf. But yeah, I know. Like I said, I definitely think you got some good ideas there, but I struggle when it comes to these super highly collectible things. I do think it's an awesome idea, but when it comes to the greater good of the community here,
I would be starting so much shit. And I knew that when I was making this. I was like, but you know what? There's going to be people that agree with me. There's going to be people that are like, yes, give me that. But there's going to be more people that are like, wow, way to ruin the TCG, Travis. Jeez. But yes, I will say that I do disagree with every set having to be viable in the TCG. I do think that Pokemon can step out of their comfort zone and start making things specifically for collectors. But that's it, guys. Those are our perfect sets. Now, we still have our questions. We're going to get through them fairly quickly here. But let us know in the comment section what you guys think of our perfect Pokemon TCG sets, and what did we not mention or anything like that you would do. What is your perfect Pokemon TCG set? Make sure you leave that down in the comment section here on YouTube. Or if you're listening on any audio platforms, again, guys, feel free to reach out to us on any of our social medias just to chat about it. But we do have a couple of questions here. We got a couple from YouTube, couple from every time I see DMs, okay, so like I work, right? Every time I see DM, I think district manager. So I almost said questions from our district managers because I wrote where they came from. I wrote DM right here. So I'm like, oh, this question's from our district manager. All right, but the first question comes from Ben over on YouTube. He made this comment on our last video, and he says, I'm paraphrasing this. What do you think about cards that are signed by their artists? Now, his question was a little more detailed. He said, I have a Pikachu XYZ that's signed by the artist. Should I keep it for my personal collection, or should I sell it to make some cash? And I rearranged that into thinking, ASX, what do you think about cards that are signed by the artist?
Yeah, well, first off, I think they're super cool, honestly, in my opinion. for a collector's piece. So like for your personal collection, I can see sometimes where it might be more of a sell. Maybe if you have like a signed Charizard or something like that. But to me, it's something that you're gonna want to keep, right? Like especially if, um, I think you mentioned this earlier, especially if you're the person that got it signed, right? Like by the person, you were there, you physically handed the card to them, they signed it. Like that's an experience you had. So I would say keep it, honestly. I think that's something super cool. And I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know if it really adds too much value. It could honestly take away maybe in some cases.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And there was actually a really controversial topic very recently that Gary said. He actually said that the signature from Arita on the base set Charizard could actually potentially devalue the first edition Shadowless Charizard. And as somebody who's looking at it from a strict financial point of view, I can agree where he was coming from. As somebody who's a massive Pokemon fan and Pokemon nerd, I disagree with what he said. So I can see both sides of the fence. But I'm going to agree with what you said verbatim, basically. If it is something that is important to you, 100% keep it in your collection. Don't worry about making a couple $100 off something that you brought with you to a convention to get signed by the artist because it's one of your favorite cards or you knew the artist was going to be there. Take those situations and hold on to them because that is what really, really matters in Pokemon and in the Pokemon TCG. Not everything is about money. If you do not have a connection to this card whatsoever and you feel like you picked it up at a steal at your local game store or something like that to flip it, absolutely sell it, make some money off of it because they can fetch a premium to the right person. You just got to make sure you're patient. Don't just throw it up there on eBay and wait for someone to snatch it up or whatever. Find somebody that really wants it. Find somebody that's a huge fan of that artist. Find someone that's a huge fan of that Pokemon. And sell it to them so that way they can enjoy it the most. That's my response to that. So
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that situation almost where you would almost want to go onto like Discord and join some Discord servers and go. Plenty of Discord servers have like
buy, sell, trade,
selling cards section. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to find hardcore Pokemon collectors. Those are the people that are in those Discords. So I think that would, if you are looking to sell, would honestly probably be your best
or
route.
Trade, sell or trade something because somebody is going to be a major fan of that artist or Pokemon and is going to want that card and want it for their PC. So next question comes
great question, by the way.
Yes, I love that question. It was fantastic. Comes from Jason over on YouTube as well. Which Pokemon deserves more of a spotlight in the TCG? But before you answer this, ASX, I'm going to say your answer cannot be Arcanine.
Ooh, that's tough. Can I go with Growlithe? No.
Jeez. You're like, that's fine. Hisuian Arcanine.
Exactly, Hisuian Arcanine. We haven't seen him yet. That's a whole different other topic that I could go on, a ramble on, but I won't for this one. I would say, oh man, I would say probably,
who's the biggest missed opportunity? Biggest miss, so I'll give you my answer first, okay? So my answer is Darkrai. I feel like Darkrai I feel like they dropped the ball with Darkrai altogether, period. I felt like he was a very good opportunity to get like a good niche of like horror fans into Pokemon and just like that small niche of people that watch Halloween all the time and Jason and Freddy and stuff like that. I feel like they had a very good opportunity to bring that type of audience into Pokemon, even if it's in a small thing. And they dropped the ball on that completely, and that includes the TCG. They could have made some extraordinarily scary Pokemon cards with Darkrai that I would have loved to see more. Maybe Darkrai is their opportunity to reach more of a mature audience in the TCG and get some more like flesh or blood style cards where he's it's just evil and darkness, and I feel like they could really anchor a set with something like that, like a Halloween set. They definitely dropped the ball on him. He has a lot of like uncommon regular holo cards, and he deserves better in my opinion.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's great, and I love Darkrai. He's like in my top 10 for sure, and I would absolutely love to see that. I think another one that does get a little, I would say, is probably equal to or maybe a little bit lesser than the amount of love Darkrai gets currently. Is actually Dragonite. I feel like he's one that I forget about a lot, but is honestly like one of my favorite Kanto Pokemon for sure. I always think about him, back in that episode really early on where we see like the giant Dragonite. We never, saw that Dragonite again, and I just always felt like he was so mysterious of a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then, we just don't really see him that often. We
For pseudo.
I mean, we did just get a Dragonite. Yeah, exactly. We did just get a Dragonite V-Box. We had the Dragonite alt art, so I feel like he is starting to come back in.
Yeah, but he should have been a linchpin though. Like he shouldn't have been a throw-in.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been a throw-in alternate art card in Evolving Skies. He should have been one of the linchpin Pokemon inside of like Brilliant Stars, or like imagine adding him instead of Whimsicott. Like, did we really need Whimsicott? Like, change that Whimsicott into a Dragonite, give him a V-Star, a Rainbow, an alt art, like give him everything, Like even Fusion Strike, like instead of Genesect, make it Dragonite, like it just there are definitely some better options. Even Chilling Rain, whatever, right? He could have definitely anchored a set more than some of the other Pokemon they gave us in these other sets. I agree with you.
I agree, yeah.
Last question here, and we got to make this one quick. What type, this is from Chris, who sent this as a DM, what type of TCG card would you bring back? I think he's talking about like different styles, like Prism cards, Break cards, Amazing Rares, things like that. Cards that we don't get anymore. What would you bring back?
Yeah, so kind of two. I got two quick answers. I kind of already said it in my set. I would love to see like dual typing cards again.
Okay.
But
which looks bad in a binder, by the way. I was gonna say that. I don't need those stupid half and half cards, bro. Find a better way.
Style them that way. I would find a better way. Don't you worry. They would come out looking way better. But the other type that I found really, really interesting are the Delta species types of
Love
Pokemon,
Delta species.
where they're like a totally different typing than they are normally, right? And what got me really interested in the Delta species cards is actually the Celebrations lunchbox tin that came with the Delta species Mewtwo in it, or Mewtwo,
jeez,
Mimikyu in it.
Jeez,
that would have been cool too. But the
water type Mimikyu.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that would just be super cool. It's not necessarily like a big mechanic or anything, right? You're just switching the typing, but
I mean, it could be.
It's really cool.
It could be
typing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, bring back like the
run a Mimikyu water deck, bro.
I think there was.
There was electric
Mimikyu water deck.
There's electric Mewtwo. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I agree. I like Delta species.
That would be what I would bring.
I would love to bring back Delta species, and what I would do is I don't know if Amazing Rares are done being printed yet, and so I don't know if bringing them back is a thing. But I would continue to make all legendary and mythical Pokemon printed as Amazing Rares. I would never leave them as uncommons or rares or even just regular holos. V cards, fine, right? Ultra rares all day long. But every time there would be a, regular type of art for a legendary or mythical, I would make it into an Amazing Rare, period. So
that'd be super cool. I love Amazing Rares. I was kind of bummed when they stopped making them.
Yeah. Hopefully they bring them back. But I don't know if they will. But that's it, guys. That's the end of our podcast. Again, we have stretched our podcast out to 60 minutes, hour-long episodes. We're right at like 58 minutes right now, so perfect timing right there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, guys, if you're here on YouTube, please drop a sub, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, all of that stuff, and go check out ASX's channel as well. And if you're on the audio platforms, please, guys, leave us a 5-star review, drop a follow. Yeah. Things like that really help push us out in the audio realm as well. Listen to the entire podcast. When listen time happens, they push it out to more people. So anything you guys can do to support, we are here for you. Patreon is open for us as well. Every single Friday here in TCG Funhouse, we are live stream box breaking, guys. You can buy into the breaks over on TCGFunhouse.com. I have everything from Battle Styles to Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, and I also have a mystery option where I spin this really cool wheel and it determines what pack you get. So it is a lot of fun, guys. Come hang out with us on Friday, ASX. Before we get out of here, say one last thing.
Well, I just got to say, you guys, I've been seeing a lot of these, Hisuian Pokemon getting, all these different cards and box sets and everything. But, they are leaving out one main staple of the Hisui region, and that is the Hisuian Arcanine. So I'm waiting here, Pokemon Company, to, give me my Arcanine V card over here. And that's where I'm going to end things.
Hashtag free Arcanine. Hashtag free Arcanine in the comments.
Hashtag free Arcanine.
Have a good night, guys.